Well, welcome inside Drury University O'Reilly Teff Family Center. We got the first boys 18U Division II Final Four matchup for a chance to play in tomorrow's Division II final. We got a matchup between Aggieland Panthers and the Lincoln Eagles. Thomas Sanders, Jeff Cannon, and myself, Nick Fairley, will be on the call. And some exciting 18U action here.
Yeah, not surprising Aggieland's in this position. They just barely missed being a D1 team, so not surprising. I'm not familiar with Lincoln Eagles, but looks like we're going to have a good contest here.
Yeah, at the call last night for Aggieland, and Ethan Cox had 28 points and just could not be stopped off the dribble. He did not hit 1-3 though, so if you're Lincoln and you watch that game, you're going to have to force him to beat you on the outside.
That was good, quick transition defense for Aggieland to get back. We got a lot of size out there. I think they seem to be fairly evenly matched size-wise.
Quick trigger three.
Good set play there.
Yeah, that's Kaiser. Ryland. And a press right away, and see how Aggieland deals with that. Again, it's Cox, I believe a freshman, 15 years old. Very, very talented player. One of the quicker players. He prefers driving left and pulling up with the right hand. See, almost every one of his points came via a drive left.
Good pivot move.
Yeah, Ethan Cox, a tough ball player. We've had him at camp 2 years in a row, and watching his skill development, his footwork, he scores. He knows how to get to his positions and hit shots. So hearing at 28 last night, not a surprise. And he shoots the ball well. He knows how to get to his spaces and just kind of get his teammates involved.
Exactly. As Ryland Kaiser hits his second three, this time he got a bank.
Yeah.
Not sure if he called it, but it counts anyways.
Yeah, I don't think he called for the banker that time. He'll take it. I think it might have even been tipped.
Yeah, as you were saying about Cox, Indianapolis Wildcats tried to throw three different defenders on him, and no one could stay in front. 3-point on the other side for 0-0, Van Gall.
Wow.
What a dish.
Very unique pass there.
That's Seth Galloway gets his first bucket.
Both these teams very poised in pressure.
Oh.
They have not had any problems, and this is a really good break here.
Good block off the glass. A good pace. Both these teams barely missed Division I. And as we expected, they're here in the Final Four. Good rebound. The size there for number 44, Krakja, is going to be big.
Big and strong.
Last night we had Grady Bowden for the Lincoln Eagles, and he bring up the ball in the face of pressure. So, despite his size, he plays as a guard.
Lincoln's going to have to close those gaps if they want to have success defending against that drive there.
Deep trigger three.
Yeah, those were two quick possessions.
And again, we haven't seen Cox get the ball as much as he did in that last game.
Wow.
Yep.
Really good hands there.
It looks like Galloway's going to try to deny the ball entry to Cox, and that's one way to stop him, and he gets the and one the other way.
It looked like he had eyes in the back of his head there. He didn't even see the ball coming. He just instinctively put his hands up, got a piece of the ball, and was able to then find it in air.
Thomas, what's the best way to stop a guard that's quicker than you?
Well, the thing they always teach you is just keep your chest open. In transition, so many of these players, particularly in high school, they want to play north-south. And so, oftentimes the fastest guy just running at you. And what ends up happening is they're out of control. And so very few high school guards have the ability to shift east-west directionally. And so if the guy can really learn to gap and keep the chest open, it's a big skill set to have. You just don't see a lot of guys in transition being able to make that move. So, as the guys are coming at you full speed, you want to be able to keep that chest open and then just kind of open up. It's a hard skill to teach.
Yeah, definitely, and that's something the Lincoln Eagles are going to have to do.
Early in games is interesting, like tempo. Who's controlling tempo in this thing? Right now it's pretty up and down. I've not seen Lincoln play enough to know if they're a slow down team. I know Aggieland's looking to push this thing, but it's always who's going to kind of impose their will early. kind of get this first feel of the game. We're 8-10 halfway through the first quarter, and right now this game is running at a high tempo, which I would say would favor Aggieland early. But I don't know. Let's see how this thing unfolds.
Yeah, and I think the defense is suffering because of that. You can see the lanes are wide open. No one is playing in the gaps. There's no high stunts, and as a result, we've seen transition buckets about the same as offensive set buckets because they're getting the same lane gaps regardless.
Yeah, shots are easy to find right now, and so you're seeing transition kicks, easy layups, defensive discipline, and it helps. Both teams are pressing, so this thing is going to ramp up. Right now, you see Aggieland with a 3-on-2, and it's same from that. It's like the defense is all amped up right now, and so the offense is just rushing. And
look how wide that is.
He always goes left. Ooh. He always goes left. If you're the Eagles, you got to know that. If they watched the film last night, that's pretty much all we talked about on the broadcast. So they're going to have to make that adjustment, but a double dribble off the turnover. So back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah, this might be the difference as to why these teams are D2 rather than D1. It looks like it's just in their defense. Offensively and talent-wise, they're clearly there. It's literally the defensive discipline to want to play lockdown defense and stop these guys. Otherwise, these games are going to be, 70 to 68 type finals.
Yeah, most of Cox's buckets last night came inside the painted area. Viewed a little mid-range as well. If he did, it was a pull-up off going left.
Yeah, you look at number 1 there for Aggieland. He was perfectly suited to sit down there and wait rather than come up and force that pass out.
Again, a player to watch on the Lincoln Eagles side is Grady Bowden, who hit a couple threes last night. He's got an insanely high release, almost unblockable, and he needs very little space to get it off. Yeah, the release is like above his head.
Looks like they've gone to a 1-3-1 here.
Good inside-out action. Got to be careful, though. Jump ball, possession arrow favors the Eagles. So a little discombobulated there as they need to settle into the zone. Zone offense, that is. Good cut inside.
That
defense
should
fell asleep.
never happen.
Yep, that's Galloway who caught the defense sleeping. He's got 6 of their 12 points. Other 6 come from Kaiser with 2 threes.
So you see, this is the advantage. Whenever you're going to press, you give up these easy buckets. So right now, Lincoln's going to have to figure out. They're going to try to put full court pressure on Aggieland. They're going to have to fall back into some kind of defense. Typically, you see a zone press back into a zone D.
Yep. Now they're in a. Aggieland's in a 2-3, and you're right, Thomas. The Lincoln's doing the exact opposite. They're going from a zone press to a man D, and they're not getting the gaps.
And that's a challenge because you come back and where are you matching up at?
Good elevation.
They can't even find their man because they're too busy trying to find the ball.
Carson Ramsey with the pull-up jump shot. He is a heck of an athlete. I've worked with him for 2 summers, and once he starts hitting jump shots like that, he's going to be a hard guy to guard. He's strong. He goes to the rim well. He's a very, very, very good athlete, and I believe he's just 15 or 16 years old, so he has a bright future ahead.
Yeah, Aggieland is definitely a younger team.
All right, so now we just see man pressure coming off of the rebound.
And
that's going to be an over and back.
Yep. Just lost the handle of it. So Cox really hasn't gotten going for Aggieland, but his teammates have picked it up. Van Gaal with 2 threes. 2 threes apiece for him and Kaiser for the Eagles. It's a 12-12 matchup.
Aggieland back in this 2-3 zone. And let's see, if you're Lincoln, that's exactly what you want. They get the ball to high post and out for a rhythm 3.
Yep, and really good for 14 there to be in the slot. He just didn't attack that rebound like he should have, but they're in the right position to beat that zone. Might even go to a little bit more overload there if I'm Lincoln.
Again, it looks like a zone press that they just back out and get odd number breaks each time. Good pass there.
I just think at some point Lincoln's got to settle back, get into a half-court defense. Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. they're kind of getting sped up by themselves. Defense on that one side getting sped up. They got to settle down.
So right now, what you're seeing, I'm not on the stat sheet in front of me, but I'm guessing we've seen 6-8 turnovers in this first quarter, and it's just a little bit helter-skelter, and you're seeing it here even on the catches. So if I'm Ethan Cox right now, if I'm coach of Aggieland, I'm saying, guys, tap the brakes, settle down, get into our offense, and let's run what we do. You're in a 2-3 zone. Play the D, but at the same time, like, let's get a good shot. We're just running up and down and letting the pace dictate our decisions.
Yeah, because you can see right there, Aggieland didn't have any problem picking that out of the zone on a bad pass.
And it's hard. You know, this is a big scene. It's a big stage. It's a big gym. Emotions are high. So I'm not saying it's an easy thing to gain, but this is where your point guard comes in and say, I need to take control. Let's stop. Let's get one good shot at a time. Capture one possession at a time.
Fourth try on a 3. Long.
You know, one of my mentors said, you only press bad teams and you don't typically need to press them.
Yeah.
And it's such a good point. The only time I ever thought a press was a good idea was late in the game when you're down and you need something to get a momentum spark. But making that your bread and butter is just asking to give the other team easy buckets.
Yep, Hartman tried to go behind the back last offense.
This is just disorganized defense by Lincoln.
Big 3 there. That's his 3rd triple for Van Call. And 3 seconds left. Not sure if he knows. Backtracking. Get the 3-point half court off. Almost drops. And yeah, kind of discombobulated where the Eagles the past couple defensive and offensive possessions.
Yeah, if I'm both of these coaches, I agree with Thomas. We've got to settle this game down, and it's okay to still be high energy, high speed, but from a defensive perspective, you are absolutely giving them free possessions that force you to go back and do the same thing by doing presses that so far we've seen has not been effective. The turnovers have been self-inflicted, not because of pressure.
Yeah, it's like this, the old idea that defense must provide pressure while offense responds with poise. So right now, yeah, there's pressure, but what we're not seeing is any kind of composure on either offense right now. So these teams are capable. They, like we mentioned early, they have talent. The players are there, but it's just kind of, okay, the scene is big. End of the season, this is you're playing for a championship, semifinals for heading to the championship game. Don't allow the moment to dictate your offense, your behavior. Play with your offense, work it, and get good one shot at a time. So I think for both these lineups right now, good shots. We need A shots right now. We don't need C shots early in the game. No one's down. It's a close game. It's first quarter. And as a point guard, former point guard, I tell point guards, this is on you. And then we're seeing another turnover here, just lack of focus. We got to lock in and make decisions.
Yeah, and it's unforced turnovers both ways, leading to easy buckets on the other end. It's just in the half court.
Yeah, and one of the things I just realized, this is the first time this week that either of these teams have been in this stage. So, yeah, the moment might be just adrenaline kicking, and that may be part of it. Is they're in a college stadium in front of a lot of people, getting live streamed, and they're.
Yeah, sure. I think they're going to settle in, and we'll see some of this. Right now, this is probably a little faster tempo than what they're wanting.
I agree.
Yeah, they're just getting sped up in their decision-making, not necessarily in their play, but they're trying to force things that aren't there. And, yeah, just simple passes that they normally make. Good wall up there. Oh, late whistle.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me. Again, you're gonna hear the whistles come late, but there was definitely contact there. He
came down a little bit.
Well, he on the drive had beaten his man. This guy came over late to help, and it was it's just so hard when you come late to be able to maintain body composure and not make contact there.
Yeah, tried to go up vertical, but probably was going into the offender a little bit.
And again, that's lack of high gap. Those stunt gaps that allow you to play help before he beats the guy off the line. And that's what we're seeing here is just probably lack of a little of defensive discipline.
Let's see what Aggieland can do in the half court. Krakcha is having himself a pretty good ball game, just sitting down in the paint. Makes good, quick post moves.
Yeah, you see what he did there. It was a swing. It was a reverse from Carson Ramsey over to Micah Krawczyk. And what he did was he went left, right on the swing, and he put that big left shoulder and then buried. And once that shoulder gets on that defender, he can ride him to the rim, which is exactly what you saw there. So it was basically a sweep and seal. And a guy his size, if he can master that move, it's going to be a tough guard. So really nice move by Micah.
Yeah, what I tell my post players is you got to know who you're up against. If you're playing against a bigger player, you got to do quicker moves, maybe a quick spin, a little sweep action into a jab step one way. But if you're playing against a smaller defender, you really have to punish them for putting that smaller defender on you. Just bury them in the post.
He missed both those free throws, and that's probably something the coach is going to put in his hip pocket for later when needing to put people on the line.
Open three there for Kaiser. He's already hit 2.
So for Lincoln, that's a good offensive possession. I know we harped early on, lack of composure, good shots, but 2 pretty good looks in rhythm there for Lincoln. So I'd be happy with those looks.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're Lincoln, as bad as you feel like you've played, you're only down by 2 at this point in the game.
Carson Ramsey again, explosive in the open court. I know he'd like to have that finish back, but that's a good spot for him to get.
Good 3 there. That's number 20, Trey Galloway.
The fact that both these teams have been what they probably feel is successful in this pressure is causing this to continue to happen. But it's a
finish.
It's a false sense of security here because the teams just happen to be doing the same number of misses and the same number of makes. But I honestly think if the first coach to adjust is going to be the one that's going to get the benefit of a big momentum swing.
Good seal inside there for Grady Bowden, who's yet to get on the scorebook. 0 for 4 from 3.
Meanwhile, I don't know, last 3-4 possessions, both Aggieland and Lincoln are starting to get better shots. We saw a nice drive and dish to Micah Krawczyk, who had a good up and under finish. And then down here again, Lincoln's starting to feel, I think, this 2-3 zone out of Aggieland. And starting to get some better shots. So I think we're starting to see these teams ease in a little bit, kind of feel each other out. And I'm watching better shots come up. So I'm hoping we get this thing tiled down a little bit and less turnovers and some better shot attempts. As Ethan Cox comes, beautiful, beautiful attack.
He loves to attack left.
Not finishing.
But a good rebound there. And again, we've seen a lot of action in the low post for Krakcha.
Yeah, he's got to make these. If he misses these, you might see some hack-a-shack type moves here, especially late in the game.
Well, free throws, and I know this firsthand, are mental, right? And so you might be, 60, 70, 80% free throw shooter, but you see a few miss, and all of a sudden you're standing up there on an island. And I'm glad for Micah that he gets to see that one drop in because pretty soon that rim starts looking smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
You get frustrated at the rim. It's just not letting it go in. And sometimes when you're hitting shots, it feels like nothing can miss. Oh, good follow.
Oh.
Gotta finish that.
Yeah, I mean, this is all coming down to lack of focus on the finish. Both of these teams.
Tough pass.
Yeah, there you go. Both of these teams have missed a ton of shots at the rim.
Yeah, forcing it a little bit there. Again, they're just getting sped up in the half court.
I call this organized chaos, and as a coach, this drives me crazy when I see this.
Got a sub coming in. That's Seth Galloway coming in for his younger
and there's
brother.
a place for transition, and now you need to push the ball, but under control, right? And that's what we're seeing right now. They're wanting to play fast, and hit that there's a level of acceptance for some turnovers, but this has gotten a little bit out of hand. It's just kind of like we're running.
It's a big shot there for Nick Lenz in his first triple.
It's almost like watching pickup ball right now.
So you wonder now, Lincoln's hit, 3-4 3-pointers out of the zone, 4 threes. So
travel.
Are they going to shoot Aggieland out of this 2-3 zone and force them to go man? Who's going to dictate this tempo, this offense, defense. So, if Lincoln hits another 3 or 2, you're going to have to question leaving that zone and going man here pretty soon.
Well, especially because they're running this overload play really well. That they're getting the look that they want, and they're waiting for that gap that inevitably has been coming.
Again, when Lincoln slows it down in the half-court zone offense, they do look pretty solid, except for right there.
Number 11 was on the wrong side there. If he's on the strong side there, he gets an easy bucket. Instead, he went to the weak.
Again, we haven't seen the explosion out of Cox.
Another turnover. Just sloppy play there, and that had nothing to do with pressure. It was just poor execution of a pass.
Yep. Both teams, as you said, just need to settle it down. If they get a good transition look, take it, but don't force it.
And this is probably why both these teams struggled at regionals, is when they were playing the higher level D1 teams, is because they were more disciplined defensively and were able to manage the other team's offensive streaks.
Tough pull up there.
Good
Ethan
shot
Cox,
there.
what a move. You see, came off that screen, froze the defender with an in-out, got to his spot. We talked on this earlier, that he knows where his spots are and he has the ability to get to them. So you challenge a player as talented as Cox is going to be, okay, now you can get your shot. How are you going to get your teammates involved? You start seeing those great players who they can get their own buckets, which clearly he can do. Now, can he get to those same spots and start getting his teammates involved off of those dish outs, off of those drop downs? And so that's kind of, I think, the next step for him in his development is going to be watching how, okay, I can get to my positions. What do I do? And we're seeing it right there. So he gets into the lane. He finds Van Call on a cut. And now you got a point guard who's not only leading his team offensively, but now he's getting his teammates involved. And that's a pretty dangerous combination. Yeah. So, man, 2 really, really good possessions for Ethan Cox back-to-back. Love seeing that.
Yeah, hitting that mid-range on one possession led to that freedom for Van Gaal on the other.
And now look, so coming off the 2 possessions on Cox, you get a shot for Van Gaal, and you have another shot coming in there for Tucker Johnston. So Aggieland has to feel good about that run they just put, but it starts again with the point guard. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Like, this point guard is your coach on the floor. He's got to lead this team, and right now Ethan's done that really well these past 2 minutes and got 6 quick buckets.
Yeah, that was great baseline cut move by him twice in 2 consecutive possessions, and he got rewarded for both of them.
Tough shot there.
So Carson Ramsey just, quite frankly, just out athletic.
Yep.
And to difficult shot.
That's a desperate play there. These one pass possessions are not going to do it. They were so successful playing against that zone, and now they're playing right into Aggieland's hands of 0 pass and 1 pass possessions.
Wow,
and especially in light of the fact that Aggieland is starting to get hot. They have made their last 5 shots in a row. And just like that, it's an 8-point lead. We were tied less than a minute ago.
Yeah, again, shooting those one-pass shots, you just don't have enough rebounders down the floor. Even though I was listening to Rick Pitino talk about that, and he's talking how just your percentage, even if you're shooting a high percentage on those one-pass shots, your percentage lowers because you don't have as good of a chance at an offensive rebound. But there was a 3 there for Kaiser, his 3rd 3.
All right, they finally got a cool-off miss there.
So Lincoln buried another 3 last possession. It just seems like they're looking for these rhythm threes, and here's another one going up. You got to wonder, is Aggieland considering leaving this 2-3 to start defending on the stuff outside? They're getting rhythm shot after rhythm shot. To me, it's a dangerous game to be playing.
They're also struggling to rebound out of this 2-3 zone as well, which could be another reason they go out of it.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side of that, Lincoln has been willing to settle for what I would consider not great 3-point looks. Earlier, when they were having success against this zone, they were getting their 3-point looks from the inside out and getting actually some good 2-point looks. Now they're settling.
It's true. It's perimeter passing. Early on, they're going to the high post and kicking it out.
Yep. Aggieland's finally going to settle for an offensive set. We haven't seen one in forever. Of course, that could be because there's 51 seconds and they want to play for the last shot.
Cox loves going left.
That is a great drive into heavy traffic.
Cox, again, we've talked about him being able to get to his spots, and that's just knowing where you can score and where you're available to make those. And
silly
another time and place play for Ethan Cox.
Good defense there by 44, but unfortunately his teammate threw it away.
Ethan Cox, 6 points on the game, but he's created for his teammate Van Gaal, who has 13. Oh, good poke. Again, 26 seconds left. We got a blocking foul.
So blocking foul on Tucker Johnson, but you know, if you're a coach, you're going to take that. He's trying to recover on what is would have been another rhythm 3. So it takes a foul on the ground to give up a rhythm 3. You'll take that. Excellent hustle.
There's the 3. He's 0 for 5. Last night he was shooting very well. So they're gonna have to key in on him as well. There's Kaiser looking for his 4th triple, in and out.
Yeah, I
Another
think
almost off.
If I'm Kaiser and I see 5 straight misses off of that same spot, that left wing, I'm at least pump faking and going, or I've got to do something to see that ball go in the net before I keep shooting that many threes. I'm not helping my team when I've gone completely cold. Not only cold from the 3, but cold from that exact spot in the 3.
Got a foul on the floor early on. Not in the bonus.
That was a good foul there. Because he's going to score if they don't.
Again, just 2.5 seconds left. They do have another foul to give, but it could be dangerous fouling here.
Yeah, if you're guarding Cox, you've got to keep him out of the lane. It's when he's getting in there, it's either finishing or passing a teammate. So if I'm guarding him, you may have to gap him a little bit to keep him out, because right now he's being very effective at the rim.
Oh, good block.
That was a good block from Seth Galloway, who has 6 points, but has also been a factor on the defensive end. We'll head to halftime. 34 points for Aggieland, just a 27 for Lincoln Eagles, and a 7-point game. We'll be back after the halftime break.
When my body needs relief, I real-time it. I'd like to introduce you to my knockout pain formula, real-time pain relief. Its soothing lotion is rich in nature's ingredients and helps me manage discomfort day or night. And it smells great too. From muscle strains to soreness to simple back aches and arthritis. Real-time it and knock out your pain. It works for me and it will work for you. Real-time pain relief, it's a knockout.
We are back here at the O'Reilly Family Event Center here in Springfield, Missouri. Thomas Sanders, Jeff Cannon, and myself, Nick Fairley, on the call for this Division II semifinal game, Final Four. See who can go to the Division II championship game tomorrow. It's the Lincoln Eagles trailing the Aggieland Panthers by 7.
Oh, good cut.
So Aggieland stays in that 2-3 zone. So let's see if this plays out for them. They've started pressuring better out of it coming in the later part of the second half. It's going to be interesting as Lincoln adjusts, trying to get that ball inside into the high post a little bit more.
5-0 run. Nope.
Again, settling for threes when you get a bonus possession. I don't understand this. They have a chance to really not only cut this lead, but take the lead if they'll just be patient.
They had 4 chances that possession, couldn't get any of them to drop. Deep sigh relief to the Aggieland Panthers.
Really good organized three-quarter court press, though. I like it.
Yeah, out of the halftime, the coach for the Eagles drew up a nice play to get an easy bucket inside, and you like to see that when your team's been settling for threes. Van Gaal's already hit 3, can't get the 4th to go.
Yeah, so that was much better gaps that we saw there. Oh, really beautiful transition there.
Good work. Galloway's got 8.
Beautiful transition by Lincoln. Push up, 1 pass, second pass to the rim and finish.
Steal.
Splits.
Kaiser can't get it. They've missed a couple easy layups this half already. Can't get it down there. Off the knee of Lincoln, it's going to stay with the Aggieland Panthers, so a heads-up play from Carson Ramsey.
What do you think we are up to in total turnovers for these two teams?
A lot.
It's got to be over. I'd say the over-under has got to be 26.
Oh, I'd take the over. Yeah, just both teams. Some of them weren't really forced in the first quarter. Teams are high pressuring in the second, and to start it, it's the Eagles that are high pressuring. Could have been a foul there. They let him play.
All right, good. That was good post ambush there for the high post.
To get his 4th. Nope.
Defense so much better to start the second half.
And more disciplined. Good pass. Long.
Good box out there. Coach loves to see a good box out where you don't have to leave your feet to get the rebound. Well, I really like this guard.
Good pass by Cox.
I really like this guard.
So there you see Cox again,
vision.
Getting into the lane, pulling the defender, and then just a little pocket pass to Micah Krajcik. Way to hold his spot, and he's such a big target.
He 00's got to calm down. He should have got 2 fouls on that.
And there he is again, Ethan Cox up to Van Gaal. We've seen that a number of times tonight.
Oh, good finish in traffic.
44 wanted that put back so bad.
It's like, why'd you have to make that, Van Gaal?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you bouncing that off the backboard so I can get a highlight reel?
Okay, so it's 15 points for Van Gaal now. Again, Lincoln kind of settling for some threes.
I like what they're doing offensively and defensively now. This is good adjustment. Good coaching at halftime.
Still can't
really,
get a 3
really
to
get
drop.
them to be more selective, tighten up that D.
Good finish in traffic.
Wow, that was next level on that bank shot.
Carson Ramsey using the glass to his advantage. Nick Lenton the other way.
Man, if they could just finish at the rim. We've seen so many missed finishes there.
Again, 9-point lead.
So at some point you start talking about finishes at the rim. This is day 4, game 4 or 5 in some cases. This is unusual. It's pretty rare in high school that you're going to get this many games, this many days. So you start wondering, okay, are the legs starting to feel it a little bit? Are we a little shy on some of the finishes, a little short on three-pointers? Bodies, getting tired, and this is an up-tempo game right now.
Yeah, that tells me that neither coach is willing to go to. They have very extensive benches we're looking at, and neither of them are going very deep in them for these guys to be this gassed.
Oh, tough pass there. Sticks with it though.
Look at that.
Cox,
That's just pure hustle.
Yep.
Pure hustle.
Tough shot for Ethan Cox.
I liked. He got his body under control with that quick jump stop. And his momentum stopped going side to side. Great block from Krajcik.
It's sad to see how good these guys are at finding the open gap and driving the lane and not getting rewarded because they can't finish.
Yeah, that one time it was a race by Micah. He loves going left.
Wow. Good block. Because that was a really good take by 44.
Turnover there again.
Braden Torres with a big-time defensive play. He's a good athlete, strong, fast, and, man, just out-hustled.
Yeah, you see Lincoln getting kind of losing a little focus here as this lead balloons to 11.
So here we go. I like what Ethan Cox is doing here. You're up 11, up-tempo game. Let's slow it down and get a good shot that we want. Good read. And Van Calls at a hot hand. We'll pull up jump shot there.
Wow.
The guards for the Lincoln Eagles just leaked out. They got to come in and pursue that basketball as their bigs were boxing out. Needed that.
Good paint three there. And you can see they're gonna want to talk this over. I just think the only thing that Lincoln's missing right now is just a little bit more. They've got to make a more physical, concerted effort to go towards the basket on that finish, knowing contact is going to come, and make sure that they finish through contact. So many of these guys at this level, and I mean high school level, are afraid of contact, and so you'll see them pull up right before they finish at the rim instead of going to contact and hoping for the and one. And they just got to be more committed. That's what we always say, drive the lane, take the pain. And that's what they've got to do. And if they do that, we would not see a 10-point deficit here. We would still see a 1-2 point game.
Yeah, it's hard when Lincoln's driving. They're looking at Micah Krotchik in the middle, and he's every bit of 6'7". He's already blocked a few shots. So there's sometimes it may just be a drive in the lane, and then as you draw the defender, it may be a drop off. We've seen Ethan Cox do that several times in this game, pulling the defender and dropping in. And as the lead guard for Aggieland, he's done a marvelous job. The Lincoln's gonna need some of that dribble drive attack to climb back in this thing. Right now, they're living and dying on the three-pointer, and when they're hitting, they've stayed right in it. When they're not, they start dropping behind. So someone's gonna start getting in the paint for Lincoln. That's
an excellent point too. I'm not sure we've seen a weak side slot there when Lincoln's making that drive, and maybe it hasn't been available. Let's watch for that.
Yeah, they got 6 made threes, does Lincoln, but they've probably shot at least 25 or 20.
So Lincoln in a man press. And let's see if they've been playing man-to-man. They're going to fall back into it as well, which looks like they do.
Travel. Shuffled his feet before he put the ball down. Again, we'll see if Lincoln can take advantage. 10-point game. It was 9 at half, or 7 at half.
I'd like to see 20 go to the slot here. They're going to use him in the high mid-post. Now he should drop.
So Lincoln started off strong, getting the ball in the high post. Are they going to be able to get anything at the rim, or at least getting a drive at it? We've seen a lot of
perimeter position,
perimeter access into three-pointers, which that's a shot.
That's a good look.
Yeah, fresh off the bench. Number 13.
Dangerous pass.
Oh, good job putting the ball down. Tried to split the defenders.
Yeah, that's a reach.
Yeah, a lot of times when you split those defenders, if you fall over, they're going to call the foul.
Tucker Johnson's had several nice hustle plays this game, just kind of keeping plays alive like he did right there. He almost, could have been a turnover. Hustle tried to split that screen and gave Aggieland another possession. Big play.
Through the contact, finishes.
I mean, he's strong, right? That's what he does. You get him low, he's a difficult matchup, and just kind of powers through.
Yeah, 8 points.
Very athletic.
Another 3 off the bench.
Yeah, this is
good follow.
Good follow, but I don't like the shot selection there.
Again, it was 1 or 2 pass shot.
Good recover there by 14, but really even a better delay move there by Cox.
See how Cox dices. He's got such good control with his body, and his handle is so tight. I would have liked to have seen a dump off there to Micah, because he pulled his defender, dropped that thing off.
Yeah, don't try and do all of it, especially when – but it was such a good change of speed that really took what was an otherwise really good defensive move by 14 into almost a layup.
I've had the privilege of watching this Aggieland team. It's my third year working with them and playing with them. And one thing that Ethan Cox has improved so much, and we've challenged him, is how assertive he is. And right now you're seeing him kind of take control of the game, which is what you're wanting from your lead guard.
It's 10 points.
And there's Carson Ramsey again, just working the low block. He is, a tough guard down there. He's athletic, he's strong, and a really good finisher.
Really unselfish by 44 to give that up to him, knowing he had a better look than he did. And here we go. Better movement here.
That one, he didn't really set his feet, travel or foul.
Big time rebound. Braden Torres goes up high, carries it down. Hope he might feel that in the morning.
Yeah. These tailbones can get awfully sore. It's almost there's some impatience by Lincoln to try and climb back into this. They have lots of time. It's only a 12-point game. Now it's going to be.
Another offensive rebound.
So everything is in reach. Everything is at your disposal. Don't panic. And it looks like Lincoln's kind of panicking. They're settling for some shots they shouldn't take now because of the frustration of not being able to finish some of those easy shots earlier. They got to stick with what they can do. Eventually, these shots will fall.
Another offensive rebound.
Look at Micah Cratchit. My goodness, what a rebound. Gave his team another possession, big time.
He's done that twice this possession. Yeah, so many offensive rebounds for the Panthers. He had an open shooter in the corner, decides to shoot a fadeaway.
Oh, that's just.
Almost another offensive rebound. He's got it. Not off his time, though.
Stepped out of the. Yeah, I think there's some miscommunication. If I had to guess, I would say there's 5 mutes out on the floor for Lincoln because that has been a lot of miscommunication, not just on the defensive mode, but once the shot is up, there's no communication. Nobody knows where anybody is, and that ball literally fell on the ground and let an Aggieland player just walk over and get it. That isn't going to cut it when you're down 12 points.
Yeah, I think something they need to do a better job of is hit a body instead of just going after the basketball, because we've seen some longer shots that are creating long rebounds. And if you don't go out and make contact with your the offensive player, they can just crash in and get the ball over your head if it bounces far. And so Lincoln has got to limit the Panthers to just one possession each time down the floor if they want to get back into this game. And offensively, they're going to need some threes to drop or get the ball inside and get it moving inside. We've seen some bigger comebacks. We saw a comeback from 11 points down earlier this week entering the fourth quarter. So this game is not over, but Lincoln Eagles are going to need to clean some stuff up.
Well, you got 8 minutes to get 12 back and then some, and certainly can do it. 12 is nothing in varsity basketball, and but it's going to take poise. It's going to take a lot of focus here for Lincoln. Meanwhile, Aggieland just got to keep doing what they're doing and letting Ethan Cox captain this floor. He's done so well.
He may not be filling up the score sheet as much as he did last night, but he's done a great job of facilitating and handling the pressure. There he is up top. Looks like Kaiser's going to be guarding him.
Wow.
Three.
My goodness, Van Gaal is putting himself together a ball game. What a tough shot.
Yeah, he's got 20 points now with 4
I didn't know he had that kind of range. That's impressive.
Again, every 50 ball seems to be going the Aggieland Panthers' way. Tough shot there.
Yeah, it's not a 3 I'd promote.
And they got a run out. And to the other way. So the largest lead of the game, 17.
That's an underrated skill set right there. That lead pass makes or breaks that transition play. So he hit Tucker Johnson in rhythm, one dribble and finish. If he passed that either in front or behind him, that's not a bucket. Big time lead pass.
Yeah, I call that play a 5-point. That shot a 5-point play when I'm a coach. Not only do you take a bad 3-point decision, but it's always going to come off long, and it's always going to end up in a transition bucket.
Oh, athletic take there. Maybe a little over-anxious there was Carson Ramsey, falling away from the basket, avoiding contact.
Oh, that would have been a Showtime play, but his guy did not streak down that backdoor cut.
Yeah, Lincoln Eagles are going to need to put together some stops. That's not going to help as
Van Gaal is catching fire. My goodness. Another one from about 25. Big-time shot.
You know, Thomas, just like you were just saying, you saw that pass was long and deep, and instead of being an alley-oop play, he had to kick it out. And as a result, so far they have not gotten a conversion.
No, they've opened this game up. You're looking at a 20-point lead. This is going to be a tough climb back.
Yep, you can't go from 12 to 20. You needed to go from 12 to 6 in this span of 2 minutes, and instead they went the wrong way. And again, it was just impatience and lack of focus and taking some bad shots that led to quick points going the other way. And you can't do that when Aggieland right now is feeling it. All 5 of the guys on the floor right now feel like they can make it from anywhere.
Yeah, talking about those runouts, I've been watching a lot of Caitlin Clark this year, as an Iowa Hawkeyes fan, and she does a fantastic job of pushing the ball up the floor to her teammates and rewarding them for their ability to run the floor. And that's what we've seen from Cox, just rewarding his teammates for going up the floor with a.
Now the luxury to play half-court basketball because you're down 20 with 6 minutes to go. So first good look has got to go up, and then you've got to get stops.
You got lucky there. Yep.
Still can't find.
You got to hustle
there.
for boards. We got to have multiple possessions and end in points.
They are shooting a very low percentage.
Here we go. Transition. Oh, he thought better of it. So now that's obviously been the Aggieland remarks at the timeout is we are going to slow this game down.
Look at the read
unless
from,
you give him that.
Look at the read from Ethan Cox. Micah would like to have that one back, but nonetheless, beautiful pass. And Micah, you know, kudos to him, kind of being available and ready for that shot.
Yep, that's what Lincoln needs is the quick strikes. But the possessions are probably going to get fewer because I would imagine, well, maybe I'm wrong because he's still running and gunning.
And he's going to keep shooting if he has an open
here we
one,
go.
Will Van call.
So, look, I'm going to talk to Micah Krawczyk right now on that feed.
Oh, no.
He needs to be ready and willing to go but dunk that ball. Watch him in warm-up. He's explosive. He's big. When he gets the ball 3 feet from the basket, he needs to bury that defender with his shoulder and take him up to the rim with him.
Yep.
If I'm coaching him, anytime he's that close, that ball has to go up. He's too big, too strong. I love that kid. He's developed so much. But I challenge him and any big, if you get the ball that close to the rim on a dime like that, the ball must go to the backboard for your team to be successful.
All right, so this is a 6-0 run here, and I don't understand. I thought Aggieland was going to pull this out and slow the possessions. They don't show any propensity to do that right now, which I don't understand. Okay, maybe he's trying to now, but that's too much dribbling.
Yeah,
I would set that up, run 3 across the top, and make them come get me. Then drive down there and give it to 2 of my really good slots, 23 and 44. I don't understand why you would allow these 3 turnovers and give Lincoln the chance to get back in this game in any manner.
They got Krawczyk underneath.
All right, this is better. This is what we're going to see is
spacing the floor.
Space that floor, pass out of it, force them to come get you, and you're going to get easy layup looks out of the slot. Here it is.
His dribbles right out of that double team.
Yep. That time they actually passed up the low slot to 44. So this is exactly what you've got to do.
Oh, dangerous pass. He kind of passed that before he needed to.
Yeah, it was tipped. It was good. Yeah, I like.
So what's y'all's opinion? Should shot clock be entered into the high school game?
I think
absolutely.
It should be, yeah.
I think 30 or even 40 seconds is appropriate so that you can't. I'm still okay with milking the clock. I mean, we see that even in the NBA now, is that even with a 24-second clock, when teams are up 5-6 possessions, good teams that know how to do math will still use 20 to 22 seconds of that 24-second clock to make sure that they squeeze the number of possessions down. And same in college, and we should have the same thing in high school. But the days, and Jesse, you probably remember that 6 overtime game of HCYA against OKC, when every overtime, whoever got the tip just held the ball for 2 minutes and then drove at the very end. That
it's not a good look.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
Turnover there.
It's not fun to watch basketball. That's for sure.
Again, Lincoln needs to settle down.
Yeah.
And they get a good look out of it. And it is just a 13-point game.
I don't understand the defense now of Aggieland to play that kind of pressure. They don't need it.
Good timeout there for the coach. Yeah, I think the shot clock is just a thing that most everyone agrees upon that it should be in. It's just a matter of logistically getting a shot clock into every high school gym and getting someone trained to run it.
In Dallas, we've got all this technology like Bluetooth that it's pretty easy to do even if it's not attached to your scoreboards. In Dallas, all the one of the private school conferences has gone to the shot clock.
Oh, awesome.
And we loved playing those games. We played, I think, 6 of the 8 teams in that conference this year during the season. And our guys loved it. Our coaches love it because it is it propels you to play good, solid offense, move the ball, move each other. You know, you tend to have better off-ball movement when you know there's a time limit looking at you. And the SBC's that conference that went to it, they have a long history of putting guys into D1 and lower division college basketball, and they said this is the way to show college coaches that our guys can play at the next level. So I think it's just a matter of time. I think we'll see it within the next 10 years.
Yeah, I think one thing we do at our college practices is we'll set the shot clock for 30 seconds, and you have to defend for 30 seconds. If there's no shot clock, you could be asking a team to defend for 2.5 minutes, and that's just hard to do, stay that focused. Yeah, 30 seconds is hard enough.
We used to run a drill at the end of practice. Every practice they had to run our stretch play for 2 minutes without turning the ball over, and it's hard. It's really hard to do that against very, very pressure defense.
All right, so a little run here for the Eagles.
Yep, let's see if they continue it.
Can they cut it to 10?
They do.
They can. Wow, big shot there from Seth Callaway, and a timeout for the Eagles. So in just about, I think, 2.5 minutes, they've cut the lead from 20 to 10. So that's pretty massive. Yep. They've shown that there's enough time for them to go in another 10-0 spurt.
Well, Nick, you and I saw this in the KC East HEA Firebirds game. They were down 16 with 4.5 minutes, came back and won that game in regulation. And this is a very reachable game now, which is why I was so confused Aggieland went to that high-pressure defense. It was a gamble defense that allowed a lot of wide-open looks down in the low post off of backdoor cuts, and I don't think they need that. If they just play good, solid half-court defense, I don't think Lincoln's going to be able to make the kind of run that they just did.
Yeah, so Lincoln has 3 fouls to give. They can go hard, aggressively after the ball. And Aggieland's just got to, I believe, just get the ball to Cox and kind of clear out. Maybe if it's continue to double him in the corner, have someone flash middle. But ultimately, you want the ball in the hands of your best ball handler and best decision maker in Cox.
Yep.
They're going to double him here, try to get it out of his hands. But he makes a great play up to.
Now this is dangerous if you're Lincoln.
Ooh,
that could have been a travel, but they're going to call the foul.
And they're definitely making a concerted effort to get the ball out of Cox's hands.
Yeah.
I think that's a good decision from the Lincoln Eagles coach.
I do too. This double up high is a really good plan. Force the other 4 to be able to orchestrate rather than Cox, who's been brilliant today in terms of finding open guys. His hair was a lot drier at the beginning of this game, I know that.
Again, denying Cox the ball. They'll let him get it here. For Aggieland, you're happy about that.
This is a double-team swarm defense right now.
Got to take that pass away to Cox.
Yep. Now, this is not a bad strategy because you do need the clock to be your friend, and right now it's your enemy with only because it's been a very cleanly played game in terms of fouls. So now they've got one more to play with before they can intentionally put him into the bonus. Looks like they're going to do it now.
So again, I think sometimes coaches, you're at 2:55. To me, they're a little early for this instant foul. Like, go for a steal. I understand stopping the clock, but I don't think you're to a point right now where it's stop it instantly like what they're doing. I would try to trap and get a steal, and if you can't, keep the pressure on, but don't instantly foul.
Dangerous.
Yeah. No, I don't mind seeing them get to 4. There, I agree with you there, though. That was a little early at 2:46. However, with Aggieland having gone to that stretch offense, the last possession that they had in a half-court set, I think he feels like if he has to trade 3 for 2, he needs as much time as we can get. We've seen in other games where the coach waited too late and he was dealing with 20 and 30 seconds. Having 2:46 is good, and it also gives them the opportunity, like right here, to see who to put on the line. I'm pretty sure you do not want Cox at the line, but there's we've seen earlier with 44 only going 1 for 4 in his tries, that if they can be strategic about when they foul and who they foul, they might be able to make this their friend, because he goes 1 for 2 there. Still don't have to do a 3 for 2 here.
Yeah, I think
with the time left.
If Crotcha gets the ball, you have to foul him immediately.
I agree.
Oh, but he does a great work
great
there.
Blocks.
I would
have fouled him right
yep.
there. Yep. Instead, you've now got Cox, who you cannot foul, and they do.
Oh,
wow, did get called. That was an obvious reach to try and get the call. They're going to do it now. Nope. Now. The refs are not obliging. If I'm the coach, I am yelling at this ref saying, I am trying to intentionally foul. Please grant it to me.
Cox is he's hard to wrap up. You know, he's shifty, he handles the ball, and then now if he can knock these free throws down, he can kind of slowly gap this game back out.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. They had the perfect opportunity down there, and it was, you know, you get the right guy on the line and you save 18 seconds. Instead, they had to chase Cox around for quite a while before they were finally granted the foul.
Yeah,
I think he was fouled 5 times there before
Yeah.
they gave it to him.
Again, if you're the Eagles, you probably want a better shot than trying to force it over Krakchia. And instead, they got blocked, and when he got blocked, you first thought probably isn't, I'm going to go foul him, but got it in the head of Cox, and he knocks the first down and the second.
Yeah,
3
he's
for
solid.
4.
So Lincoln needs quick, good shots. They can't have the luxury of just passing around. First good look, they got to take it. It's a pretty good look.
Yeah. Now you get up and you get him. He's the one that just missed. Instead, they're going to give him a breakaway.
They're going to lay it wide open.
Oh, he missed. They're lucky.
They are really lucky.
It's a 10-point game. Oh, he could have passed back to him.
Got to foul him. He's probably the second best free throw shooter on the team, but he's still better than having it go in the hands of Cox.
Yeah, the Lincoln Eagles caught a break with an uncharacteristic miss from Ethan Cox right at the rim.
Interesting to see where Kratchik was located when that foul happened. Nowhere near that side of the court. He went in the same area code.
And he knocks them both down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see 44 being granted the right to cherry pick on the other side because of that. They're certainly not going to have him anywhere near the inbound or off of a rebound.
Again, if you're Lincoln, you actually got a pretty decent look that first time. Made the 3. Second time, they forced up the 3 a little bit. Again, there's 1:52 remaining, down 12. It's not over. You're going to need some help. You're going to need some steals. But you can't just keep forcing up shots. You got to get a good look, but it can't take too long.
Yeah, that swing to the corner 3 was a really good look. The one that came over to the wing was off balance. It was not set. These guys are because they're in a hurry, sometimes they're not set. So always good to have at least a 1 or 2 pass 3 where a guy is set, his feet is set, is square to the basket, and he's got a much better chance of making that 3. I think we knew we were going to see some type of separation at some point the way these two teams played early, and it was going to come down to who was going to execute offensively. Lincoln's just had too many misses at the basket, and we saw Aggieland get hot for a good stretch there, and that's really been the difference in the game here.
All the way to the basket.
Good drive there. Yeah. Good decision. Looks like Aggieland was going to give them the 2 because they knew that they were going to get fouled on the return.
But still.
But you can't foul them. You got to let them have that.
Yeah, get a chance to score while the clock is stopped.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting looking at Aggieland's bench. Coach Rollo's got, 7 guys, but I think we've only seen 6, maybe 7 players hit the court. So, it's a curious. Obviously, he's done well because they're in the space right now. But at the same time, 4 games, 4 days, 5 games, and heading to another one tomorrow. You would have anticipated some more guys would have touched the court, but
neither team using their depth.
No.
And sometimes just giving these younger guys a little bit of time, just to give your guys a couple of minutes rest, is very important. I think that's one of the reasons Dash has had success at varsity this year. Is it's one of the deepest teams we've ever had, and it allows the coach to platoon these guys. So even the younger guys are getting quality minutes, 2, 3, 4, 10, even 8, 10 minutes a game. And coaches that can do that and utilize their bench, these guys are practicing against them. They should be capable enough to give you some 2, 3 quality minutes to give your guys a rest. Really good.
Good timeout there.
Yeah, he was about to have a 5-second call there.
That was a good trap. Again, denying the ball from getting into Ethan Cox's hands, put it in someone else's hand. And again, you don't have to foul right away. It was a good decision to put the trap on, but again, they got bailed out with the timeout. That last stoppage that we had was a delay of game warning for number 10 for the Eagles, and he just stepped over the line trying to defend that play, so next one will be a technical foul.
So what Lincoln Eagles are doing here is exactly how you want to do it. They're guarding without fouling, pressuring without hacking. And I think that's going to be the key. If they want to get a chance at call back in, you got to get quick stops, turnovers, and if you don't get one in 10, 15 seconds, you've got to foul. And that's exactly what happened here. They force a turnover from Aggieland. And, this game shouldn't have gotten back in close for Aggieland. You're kind of looking up like, what happened here?
Yeah. Well, I think it was just that pressure defense that they didn't need to do. It was overplaying the ball, which allowed a lot of wide open looks. Once they passed out of the trap, it was too easy.
Double's coming.
Really,
oh,
wrong guy. Wrong guy. Yeah, you can see the coach did not want him to foul yet. He was trying to tell these guys, keep your feet square, let him make the mistake. And these guys just got antsy. These guys have an internal clock in their head. 1:37 feels like 18 seconds left in the game to them, and the reason why the coach went to the intentional fouls early was because he wanted this luxury of time, and these players are not utilizing that effectively.
Now he's 4 of 5 from the line after missing his first one. It's his second. 5 of 6. You don't want him at the line.
No, you do not. He is clearly the MVP of this game. I don't even care what the stat line says. He has been Mr. Everything.
Yep, foul.
But saying that, he is he's been a great facilitator. Van Call in his own right has had an amazing game as well. I can't remember what his stat line is now,
points.
but guys hit some deep shots at big moments as well.
Yep, 5 threes. He's actually got 21 points.
Good defense by Ramsey. Look at that.
Speaking of a guy that's been incredible today.
Oh, missed a layup.
He has done everything, especially down low. He has been so solid out of the slot play this morning or this evening or wherever. It's 4 o'clock this afternoon.
What you'd like to see, if I'm working with Carson Ramsey on that possession, as strong as he is, what you'd hope to see him do there is take a gather dribble and eat the space of the defender. So he ran alongside of him, and at that point a player has a race to the rim. Whoever happens to be the better athlete is going to get that advantage. Whereas if he takes one gather dribble with his left hand into his defender, and then he can simply lay it up with his left hand. So I always try to teach players, you got to take their space, because if not, they're going to take yours.
Yeah.
So eat his defender space and get to the backboard. And he's strong enough where he can do that so effectively.
Excellent point. Those are the little things that you learn in training. So many of these guys spend too much time playing AAU ball when they really should be get with trainers, teaching them these subtle things that are going to make them better players. I had a good scout tell me, if you're not playing in front of college coaches, don't waste your money on a tournament. Go get in the gym with a trainer and get better so that when you do play in front of those coaches,
sure,
you're showing what you can do.
That'll send Ethan Cox back to the line. He's 5 of 6 in the free throw line, 13 total points. 14.
Yeah, this kid's going to be good. What year is he, Thomas?
I believe Ethan's a junior. I believe he's a junior, and he has improved a lot here recently. You can tell his ball handling, he's so confident as a ball handler. There's a 3-on-1 here, and he tried to dribble through it. Probably ill-advised, right? But that's how he feels his ability to handle the ball. So you're not going to pick his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see how explosive he is, watch the film from yesterday's game versus the Wildcats. There was absolutely nobody who could stay in front of him.
Yeah, we're
Aggieland is, to me, so close to being an elite team in this homeschool national tournament. A couple of ticks off. I feel like a little bit more discipline early, particularly defensively.
Yeah.
And they're right there. They have the pieces and the tools to really compete at the highest level. I have zero doubt the talent is there, the ability is there. can they put it together as a unit and guard together and then stay disciplined, because they have all the pieces to be a really, really nice team.
You're 100% right. I think this comes down to it really, from my perspective, and I was always a defensive-minded coach, and to me, this is all about defense. If these guys can learn to play defense as well as they are fluid in offense, they are going to be special in the next couple of years. And I think getting 2 or 3 good, solid defensive systems that they can rely on game in and game out is going to make the difference for them to move up to the next level.
Yeah, they have a lot of pieces. And you know what? Hats off to Lincoln Eagles. Well-played game, guys. You know, they obviously can shoot the ball. I'm sure they probably would have liked a higher percentage tonight, but shots where they just go down as much as they want. And that's part of the game, right? You don't always fall like you want. But congrats to both teams. Look forward to seeing Aggieland compete again here tomorrow.
Yeah, and Aggieland will play the winner of this next matchup, Kalamazoo Cougars versus the Red River Rattlers, and we'll be back in 6 minutes to bring you that action.